Hi everybody, we're Rob and Leslie Hildebrand.
Welcome to the Chateau de la Grifferaie.
3 years ago, we sold or mortgaged everything we had to buy this beautiful chateau.
With the hope that we could create a special place of learning for young people to learn about their world and themselves.
It's been an amazing adventure so far, with so much more to come.
So come along with us as we wake this sleeping beauty and restore her to her former glory.
Just got a haircut and may have gone too short. Might have been a bit of a language communication issue, but yeah, Leslie says too short. C'est la vie. I don't often see this view because the gate's usually open, but I was just mowing out here and it is cool. Got the fence and the sun is just hitting the chateau so beautifully right now. You know, a while back somebody was like, man, you sure talk a lot about how much you like the chateau, and I'm kind of like, I do. I mean, I'm not sure what you want me to do. It looks awesome. I think it's cool. I could pretend it doesn't, but I don't think that would be helpful because it wouldn't be true for one thing. Yeah. And I suppose the part of the beauty of the way the thing's built is as the sun changes, the shadows change, and it just kind of gives a different depth. So it always kind of looks a little different. And speaking of things I'm thankful for, this mower has been such an upgrade. I am so glad we purchased it. And also thankful, by the way, we had help from a friend in Seattle to purchase this. He was like, your mower's way too small. And so he helped us out when we couldn't afford it ourselves. So super thoughtful. And I'm thankful every time I'm on it. It goes faster, it's more comfortable, it does a better job. It's a win-win-win. It doesn't break down. Well, I do love mowing this lawn. There are times when you're like, boy, you know, those are lovely flowers, you hate to mow them. Lots of people have said, why don't you just let it grow natural? Well, here's the thing, it's a huge piece of land. There's lots of land that is natural, so there's lots of spots for the flowers to grow. But we like to cut the lawns that are closest to the chateau. With the volume of things that we have to do here at the chateau, we just don't get to weed whipping very often, but maybe once a month we get out here, and so let's enjoy the before after. Before, after. Before, after. Before, after. Before, and after. Man, you wish you had more time to get out here and do this. Next week we do our walkthrough video, which is always one of the people's favorite of the year. It's one of the most viewed, and usually it's all interior. But man, with this rhododendron forest being opened up, it's almost like we want to have an outdoor walkthrough. Boy, I hope these are still here when the students arrive next week. It looks like they're getting towards the end, which is too bad, but so beautiful. And again, they were saying that Marie was saying we have 30 rhododendrons in here, and we freed up some of them, and I use the word we loosely. She freed up some of them, and we may get the GAs in, some of the boys out here with the chainsaw to make some more space and clear some more room. Just lovely. I really like this. Usually it's Leslie with the pictures of flowers, but today I thought I'd join the party. Of course, I know almost nothing about plants. This looks a little different. Maybe it's just in a different stage. I don't know. Growing up in Saskatchewan, we didn't have trees that flower, or at least not that I can remember. So it's super cool for us. And actually Oregon was super cool that way too. And of course, there's the stables over there. Again, I'm no expert, but it looks like there's still some blooms coming, so maybe the students will get to enjoy some of these. Notice the sounds of the birds. And Mr. Bingley with his very unmasculine bark. I mean, it's beautiful, but it almost sounds nicer. It sounds like a rainforest.
So I've seen these amazing marble alabaster lamps. They actually then stand on marble pillars that also light up, which is kind of funny. I don't know if it's a 1960s invention or it's older, but I find them at the Brocons. But this one I loved, and it was like 10 euro or something, and that was, maybe it was 20 euro to be honest. But this was finally in my wheelhouse where I'm like, yes, let's get it. It's cool. We need lights. I'm in the salle à manger, in the dining room right now, and because we have no chandelier or electricity to it, I'm always trying to look for some little lamps and things like that that we can kind of put around the periphery to kind of give us a little light when it gets dark in the off seasons. And so here in France, a lot of the old light fixtures, can you see that, have these sort of pronged fixture pieces at the bottom, connection points, versus the spiral screw-in kind like we have. Now they sometimes have connectors that will convert them to our regular kind, but we've kind of inherited a bunch of these little bulbs that have these same contraptions. And so I thought, let's just see. I didn't get to see if this would work, so let's try this guy. Isn't this a cool light bulb? It's really big. Like, look at my hand. It's like a little torch. Rob won't be thrilled because it's not LED, but I think we can still get this bottom piece. If one of the conversion pieces don't work on it, I think we can still get these kind LED, but not looking this cool. But let's try it and see if this lights up. Oh, it does light up. Oh, how are we gonna get it to stay? Come on. Usually that slots in the little slots. Oh, there we go. And then look, it glows. Aren't they cool? I think they're cool. And it's all alabaster, which again, I love natural materials, especially when they're beautiful with all the veining. It's gorgeous. Why are these only 10 or 20 euro? I don't get it, but I'm not sad about it.
And this is where you go upstairs as a Chateau owner to check the attic. Let's see how the new roof is holding up under this. This is a lot of rain. That one's doing great. Look at that flow. Wow. This is our most problematic drain normally, but I just cleared it yesterday, so look at that, eh? Look at the volume of water moving there. Wow. That's great news. Look at that. Boy, that is a lot of water. That's like 1 foot wide, at least an inch high. It's a lot of water moving. This gutter's doing well too. Gutters are holding up well. This is another one of our apocalypse downspouts, and it's doing well too. That water moving that fast, it's good because stuff will just blow right through. And then down the drain. I was nervous when I came around this corner because listen. But I think the water's staying on the outside here, so that's good news. This is not doing as great. We've got more leaks. I keep filling them, they keep coming. I don't like to see that. Okay, we got a couple leaks here. These are new. I don't feel bad though, because these guys didn't do this peak. So yeah, there's leaks there. This is new. Boy, will it ever end? Look at that, eh? Where's that coming from? I don't know. These are small, but there's more than I expected. Ah, this is sort of new too. That's bad. All right, let's get a pail under that. Now, amazingly, this room, which historically has been our worst room, is pretty much dry. Little bit of leaking right there in the middle, but almost no leaks. So that's remarkable. Owning a chateau is definitely different. Oh, I almost had a heart attack there. I forgot the owl was there. I was like, wow, what's in the window? Ooh, spooky. Owning a chateau, definitely different than owning a home in North America. You know, North America, if you had a new roof, you would not have it. There would not be leaks for 20 years, and you'd be shocked if there was one. And here, of course, we have, what did I just count there? 5? 5 leaks, most of them small. And the rain was heavy, but yeah, it's a big, complicated roof.
Well, I'm putting our grad assistant bedrooms back together. Remember when we did all the stenciling? The room has held up so well. It's bizarre, really. Hardly any spider webs, no cracks. It's really quite remarkable, actually, how clean and fantastic it is. I don't understand how upstairs can have such a radical difference, but I've been having fun putting the pictures back up. If you remember, I had so many of these little needlepoint pictures that I've found at the Brocon, which I actually really love. They maybe are from the 60s, but they're so cute. So this one was in the girls, and this was for the boys' side, as well as another really, really big one. So this room hasn't done terribly badly either. A little bit of peeling on this wall, but hardly any. And overall, not even behind the shutters is it dirty. I'm like, what in the world? So very pleased at how well this is done. Hardly any cleaning necessary. So we're making up the beds, hanging up the pictures, which I think I had here. So we'll hang it up and off we go.
So Leslie has had from her mom's house, from her parents' house, this mirror for many, many, many years, and it's hung on several of our houses. And we're going to try to put it up here. And of course, in France, when you have these fabric walls, you don't want to poke a bunch of holes. And so, see if I can, you can't even see it there. There is already an existing hole, but it's quite a bit too high. So we're gonna, a hook. Yeah. Thank you very much. So it's quite a bit too high, so we're gonna get creative. Leslie's got some ideas on how to get this to the right height. Wait, and watch and see. That was quite clever. The fleur-de-lis, which we have owned since our first year of marriage, and that covers the line. And then of course, Leslie will get ribbon, or even honestly, black electrician's tape.
No.
Okay, our fabric to cover the line. That'll look a little nicer. So you might be thinking, wow, 1 week till the students get here, that's troubling. And in some ways it is, but you know what, we're actually cleaning up jobs. Now we do have a couple more jobs. Now Leslie, this is our little laundry machine room with its little sign. And it has been, it's a functional room. We haven't made it beautiful yet. But Leslie wants to move the washer and dryer to that back corner, which is gonna be a lot easier for students to get in. And we'll have a table here too. And we're also installing this little relatively cheap laundry sink. So that means I have to figure out a way to make the connections go from here all the way over. And so we'll need some parts, and we'll try to do some figuring. Water runs downhill, that makes it easier.
Now I know we're from Portland, Oregon, and in the Pacific Northwest, we get rain. But it also doesn't usually rain hard. It'll rain constant, but not hard. And this has been a crazy, crazy year. It's just endless. I am glad that didn't start before I got home from the store, buying some stuff for session. But, it is green. There's no doubt about that. The weeds and leaves abound, which is beautiful. And the roses are blooming crazy. But you know, we are so done with the rain. Time to be done, Mr. Rain. Well,
this is depressing. This hasn't leaked for about a year. And now it's back to leaking. Not only that, there's one I can hear, but I can't see. I've looked everywhere. I put my foot everywhere, I put my hand everywhere to try to figure out where it's leaking, but I can't get it. The fast one. I believe it to be originating in the valley somewhere. This is even worse. Just started. That means the water's been working its way through, and now it's like it's changed direction up high, and now it's coming in a different place. That's my brand new painted ceiling, which had been dry for a year. I'm not gonna lie, this has been a tough day. Now, good news, we did get the washer and dryer against the back wall. Probably should pick up a second one with the amount of washing and drying we do with students. But for now, that's good. Then we're gonna put a table in here. And this guy's all set up, trying to figure out the auto dose feature. I really thought this would be a couple hours this morning, and it's turned into an all-day job. But on the upside, it's all ready to go pretty much now. But while I was down here working, Leslie said, hey, come upstairs, there's dripping. And I said, where? And on the premier etage, so on the bedroom floor, there's dripping in the old powder room where we used to have the brutal leak, and also where I just painted a ceiling. Yeah. So there we go. Just running a test cycle and also trying to figure out the auto dose situation. Leslie said it was jammed, so took it apart, cleaned everything, and we'll see if it works now. It's you know, moving to another country, it's the language is part of it, but there's a lot of things you have to learn, including how the appliances work. There's still one stove we haven't figured out a couple of years in. You'd think we'd be able to figure it out. We've Googled it, we've read the manual, but it's just baffling to us. Bless our hearts. Well, I suppose you look on the bright side. The bright side is we have a washer and dryer that work. We have a room that's a little more functional. Washer at the back, new sink, so that'll be nice even for emptying out, you know, water pots and getting water. And so Leslie will come in and make it beautiful and make it functional, but it took longer than I thought. As you can see, Leslie's been here, and anything Leslie touches gets better. And so our now much more functional laundry room for the students and for us. We do a ton of laundry when the students are here. Like, this machine runs pretty much nonstop. Really, it won't be long probably till we get a second set in there, because there's just a lot of laundry to happen. But it's looking good and it's functional. Well, we're quite close to the students coming. About a couple days until we drive off to Paris, and it's been, well, it hasn't been a mad rush, but we've definitely been working evenings. We kind of blew it. We were trying really hard to have kind of the last week as almost nothing, but it, you know how it is. It's a big house to clean, and so you know, we've ended up working most evenings this week, so that's not great. The only good news is Leslie's feeling, I think, in control and on track, and so her job when the students are here is a lot harder than mine. My job's harder when we're traveling around. Like the first few days, I kind of lead that, and so I'm always looking for parking and making sure, you know, I'm the problem shooter, and kind of like I guess I'm leading the group. And so there's a little more stress for me when we're on the road. But when we're in the Chateau, Leslie has to cook for everybody, and that is a big job. So I'm actually able to relax a little bit when the session's going. It's not, I find leading young people and teaching pretty comfortable. So 4 hours a day, it's a lot for a university kind of level class, but it's doable. It's doable for me, so I'll be okay. Though I would have loved to come into this a little better rested. This morning, we've had a lot of animals trying to get into the Chateau, and it has got me thinking about ethics and morality. Now, this is going to be, I think, maybe an interesting discussion for some of you. Some of you are going to be like, that's ridiculous, but here's my thought. I think egocentrism is something that plagues human beings. You know, egocentrism, the inability to see the world from another perspective other than your own. So, you know, at its worst level, selfishness, you know, like, you know, in the worst case, you have maybe a parent who doesn't care about their kids. That would be terrible. Or a person who doesn't care about, you know, stealing, because they don't care about they took your stuff. They only care about themselves, right? Or murder. I mean, that's kind of the worst on the spectrum. That's the worst type of egocentrism and selfishness. Although most of us, even on a lesser degree, experience it. Like if you're driving on the freeway and somebody cuts you off, you get mad, right? And you're gonna have the road rage, and you know, a lot of times, you know, people are driving, they're not really worried about if everybody else can pass. They just want to think about themselves, which is a form of egocentrism. It's smaller, and not as significant as abandoning your children or something, but still an issue. And in my mind, as I think about it, deep thoughts, I think egocentrism or a lack of empathy for others is kind of at the root of most evil. And you know, even countries go to war. We want something, and we're going to kill you because we want this, and it doesn't matter because you don't matter. Only us matter. You know, America first. Or I didn't mean to. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not thinking about the other countries, and that's not us at our best. If I can say that, if I can join the Americans, we're better than that. And Americans are great people, and we are better than that. This is one of the reasons why I think when people came to Jesus, said, "Hey, what's the most important commandment?" He gives two, and one of them is love your neighbor as yourself. Because that's at the heart of goodness, caring for others. And so a lot of us, I think probably, a lot of you watching the video probably agree, for humans, you'd be like, yeah, that's important. I think it's primarily, in the Bible at least, it's primarily addressed to humans, but there is some responsibility to the animal kingdom and also to maybe even the planet. Not very much to the planet, but there are a couple passages, right? Like the creation narrative. God creates these two people, Adam and Eve, and he puts them in this beautiful garden. He says, place is yours, take care of it, you know. And he goes, you're in charge of the animals, you know, the plants, and they're caretakers. They're supposed to, you know, care for the planet, and certainly for the animals. You know, there's Old Testament passages talking about the righteous man will care for the needs of his animals, and we get that on an intuitive level, right? If you see an animal being mistreated, there's something that is very it angers you. It's unjust, and I think most of us on an intuitive level see that. I've been wondering about this morning. We set out some mouse traps. We've had birds, we've had bats, we've had a lot of ants, flies, and recently a couple mice. And so I think, you know, you can't have mice. And so I put out the mouse trap, and I had to take out a mouse this morning that I think it was just, and I'm a sensitive guy, right? I'm a sensitive guy, so that was hard. I don't like killing anything. I feel a little less worse about the ants and the flies, because I don't know how their little minds go. And maybe I'm anthropomorphizing, but I hate to see that. And so I started to wonder about the morality, and stay with me, this is controversial. I started wondering about the morality of owning a house this big that so many animals want to get into. Like, I guess on a grander scheme, it's, you know, humans, we take up so much space and we don't think about the animals. And again, I'm not trying to be a crazy environmentalist or something like that. I think that it's important for us to consider all the living creatures, and I don't know how to do that with mice. You know, I maybe you can find a live trap. I don't know. We want to definitely discourage them. Oh, we had bees the other day, or wasps, whatever it was, coming into the house. And there's all these things, and so I'm trying not to kill them. I'm just trying to discourage them, and hopefully that they'll go somewhere else. You know, if you can, but I don't know. That's what I've been thinking about lately. And I don't know how the application is in your life, but try to find ethical ways to deal with animals and, of course, people. You know, the back stairs look pretty good. They just look a whole lot whiter. Now I'm going to have to deal with this. All the residue from the stairs went onto the sand. So I'll get the shovel out. I'll shovel up the biggest pieces, put it in the wheelbarrow, and then just rake over the rest, and we'll get back to business. Here we go. All kinds of birds in here today. All right. Okay, now we gotta find these leaks. Yeah, I don't know. We'll take a look. All right, here we go. Oh. Well, here we are in the valley, and I mean, everything looks good. I can't see any problems, but obviously there's some major leaks, so I don't know where they're coming from. You know, you're looking at things and you're like, no, that's not a leak. It looks like it's solid. So, I don't know. I don't know. We'll try to figure it out. The water seems to be coming down like right there, and it could be up here, or it could be down there, or who knows, maybe there. I don't know. It's hard to see. We'll see if we can find it, but I can't see it anything right now. We'll clean it out. Maybe something will show when we clean it out. This is interesting. The roofers have written notes to each other. They've signed their names. 2016, 2000 to 2017. And there's also a couple of really interesting arrows. I'm wondering if they're saying this is where the leak was. It doesn't look like a logical spot. That, by the way, looks like a logical spot for the leak. Look at that. I mean, I don't know. You'd have to come, I should almost come up sometime when it's raining hard and you could see where the water's running. It's possible that it's slipping back there, you know, or if it's up, as they say. I mean, it feels like that shouldn't be it. It feels like it would run off those things and fall straight down, but maybe it cuts in and then gets into the brick there. There's also a couple of long ridges there. That would make sense for a leak, honestly, because there's a lot of water coming there. It's about the right spot too. Well, yeah, hard to say. Okay, good news. I found 2 leaks. One I don't think is big enough. You can see it right there. There'd be a little water that would come through that. Just a puncture, probably a piece of slate fell and punctured. So it feels like I could patch that. But that one's not the serious one. The serious one's over here. I got the broom out and I started sweeping everything out, and I saw a puncture. I don't know if you're gonna be able to see it, but it is right there. It's got dirt in it right now, but it's a significant hole. like almost a centimeter, and it's about 3 centimeters off the base. So it kind of makes sense why there was almost no leak at the start, but then as this thing started to fill up with mud, then there's a bit of a dam and the water just sits there and then runs through that leak. So that's good news. I'm gonna try to plug it, and we'll see if that fixes it. Now, in the best world, you'd think the roofers would get here and fix this, but it's been a month. It's been maybe more than a month. And so, you know, how long are you gonna let water run into your house? See if we can fix it. On this side, we just have a very small leak, and honestly, guys, I think it's just the front of these two pieces, that one and this one. It's about the spot where the water's coming in, and you can see that it's definitely cracked. So there wouldn't be a ton of water hitting that, but there'd be some, enough to leak, to have a drip. So we should throw some caulk on that too. Although that one probably could wait for the roofers. It hardly leaks at all. Boy, the things you learn when you buy a Chateau. Right, so it's time to make a plan. First thing we're gonna do, when we have some time, is we're gonna build a more permanent ladder to get up to this thing, so that, 'cause this was precarious as heck. It's not straight, as you can tell. Now they put some little boards there to hold the ladder, but when I was coming down that, I was like, that is scary. So we're gonna build just like a little 3-step, almost vertical ladder to get out there. And then we'll also build some kind of hook so that the ladder, once it's outside, can hook on, because we don't want to put our weight on the slate, so the ladder has to bridge that. So it's tricky to get in and out. I was kind of hoping they would do this thing lower so that wouldn't be so hard. You just step out, would have been easier, but oh well. And then we're gonna get down there, we're gonna fill those 2 holes and see if that makes a difference. Okay, up to the roof. Now I am going to show you, I put the headset on to come out here, and I will show you what it was like to do that. And honestly, I debated playing the audio for you because there's just a whole lot of heavy breathing and grunting, which is just, it was because of the stress. It's not that much exertion. But I almost, to set the intensity, I was really tempted to do that. But to this point, I haven't. We'll see if I leave it in. But in any case, you're probably watching it now while I'm talking. It's really it was really quite the ordeal. And we got out there and it worked, but it's not simple. We definitely got some birds that really like to go to the bathroom here. It's a shame, but it is what it is. All right, coming down. We got one patched. That should work at least for the short term. And then here's the other. You can see it now. I'll get you real close. Yeah, that's going to be a problem. Look at that. And if you look back, you can see that the water shoots right down here directly towards that and then over. So let's try to get that patched and hopefully it'll stop it. Well, hopefully it dries fast enough. It's not supposed to rain until tomorrow, so it's got at least half a day, maybe a full day. I also put, you can see I put a line of caulking along the edge of that metal, and just because it pulled away from the stone. Now, people can probably laugh at that, but you know what? I don't know. Maybe the water's coming through there, and if it is, less water will come through. So I'm taking the win. Well, I know I, for one, am super curious to see what's going to happen when it rains. I'm a little bit optimistic. I've also got bird poop on my hands.
So I have to share with you something. It's pretty funny. I was going to buy some garbage bags for the bathroom garbages in all the bedrooms. And I wrote down how many liters it needed to be. But then I started looking a little farther. They have vanilla scented, and get this, they have strawberry scented. And you know what? It smells really good. It's so funny. Pretty great. I think we've got to get one at least and see how weird or not weird it is.
Ran out of time, didn't get to painting this or patching it, but Leslie asked if I could go up and try to eliminate mold, and I was like, mold? What mold? But now that I get up there, yeah, there was a little bit of a tinge, so I'm at least wiping that off with some good vinegar here. So, better air quality, still doesn't look perfect. One of the fun things about having our stuff here is we can introduce a few more fun little activities to the Chateau. For example, this is a Canadian game, or at least I call it a Canadian game. It's called Crokinole. And you just basically try to, see if I can do this. Yeah, you shoot it to the middle, and the guy on the other team tries to knock it out. So he'd be playing from the other side. And you try to get the most of yours. Yeah, you try to get points in the middle. It's a little bit like curling. Yeah, you knock the other guys out. It's a good time, and I think it'll be good for just people that want to sit down and not put too much thought into something.
I'm under the stairs, and guess what it's doing outside? Raining, but it is very green. So I'm under the stairs, and I'm going to repurpose this whole area that was a disaster with this little closet into a little mudroom for us, basically, so that we have a place to hang coats and everything else. You can see how there was little old keys for the bedrooms back in the day when it was a hotel. Isn't that cute? So cute. Anyway, so there's some good storage. Now we just need to repurpose it. Now that all our stuff is here, it is time to get organized. Now, one thing I haven't loved is there's endless wires in here. On the other side, I think it was things like for television and telephone and all that kind of stuff. On the other side of this door under here was their little reception area. So now I'm pulling the stuff out that have been stapled to the stairs. And I don't think I can do this with my left hand, but you get the idea. And it'll be nice to have these gone. Did I show you this? I found something in the bottom of this cupboard, and they're actually kind of cool. I'm just gonna leave them here because I don't know where else we're gonna put them. Beep beep. But it's cool. They're actually glass negatives. Oh, you can't tell what that is. Hang on. Some of these you can tell. And when you put them up to the window, look, you can see little ladies. Looks like it kind of looks like Mont Saint-Michel or something in the distance, to be honest. If they went on some holiday. Isn't that fantastic? Look at their outfits. See if I can find another one. Careful, Bingy. Careful. Careful. What is this one of? Can we tell? Oh, it looks like, I can't tell, but they're somewhere. Is that like a hot air balloon in the air? I don't even know, but there's a fence. Anyway, they're cool, and they're glass, which is very, very interesting. Negative. So I thought, you know, one of these days maybe we'll have relatives of people that used to be in the house, and I don't know, maybe they'll know who they are. And I think they'll be pretty tickled about that. And the box is cool, eh? All right, we got ourselves a little coat closet, mud room. This was the part that had 5 million things packed all the way under the stairs. Now I've kept a vacuum, the steamer, a couple more curtains that belong on the main floor that we haven't pulled out. Brought a shoe rack from home to hopefully get us slightly organized. Put a few hooks from Target on the wall. I actually like these. Little shout out to Target, but these are great. They're modern and clean and brass and sturdy. They're great. And oh dear, sorry. And these little guys also fantastic to hang up purses. Hey, Bang. And this great little closet that was full of who knows what nonsense before. Why won't the other door open? There it goes. Oh, that's tight today. There we go. And it's clean. Yay. And I put plenty of wonderful smelling peppermint and lavender, so you know what, stay away. So now we've got all of our light bulbs sorted and ready to figure out what we need, and a little tool kit, my sewing kit, some basics, and extra space to boot, which sadly means it'll probably get filled over time. But meanwhile, this is at least gets us organized for the next few months while we're in session finally, and use a space that we've already owned. So I'm happy about that. Now, is it cute? No. But you know what? We'll eventually change their old wallpaper and make it cute and paint it in here. And I think it'll be adorable. But until then, we have our own little space under the stairs. Bingy, where'd you go? Bingy. You keeping the mice away? Please do.
Last minute jobs are not always what you expect. For example, straightening the lantern candles that were knocked over by birds or bats. They try to sit on them, they bend, and there's about 3 or 4 of them in the house right now that need to be straightened. Well, we have a number of students coming, so that means it is time to check all the smoke detectors and put new batteries in. Fortunately, we have a nice little 9-volt tester, and again, a whole bunch of new ones. All the bedrooms will get brand new batteries, and any expended batteries will be thrown out. Always fun to find some history. And this is a letter, 94, when the Chateau was a hotel. And also next to it was this book, different Chateau hotels in 1991. We could have, our honeymoon, we could have.
Oh, that'd have been something.
Stayed here. And we're number 33. I'll come in close in case anyone wants to freeze it and read it. 18 rooms.
I know.
That's a lot of rooms. Anyways, there we are. Beautiful morning in the Rhododendron garden, and we have a delivery of fuel coming. So the square is doing great, and it's super, super hard. You can even see a little bit more of the gravelly stuff coming to the surface with the rains. Now, that's not to say that there's a couple spots where we're starting to get some plants, and in the States, this would solve all your problems. It's a little harder to find in France, a little more expensive, a lot more regulations. But now that most of it's clear, you know, it's just spot spraying, and so we're gonna do that, and we're gonna try to stay ahead of this thing. So, sorry about that, weeds. Looks like the sprayed weeds are dying at different speeds. It looks like some going quickly and some going slowly. He's doing his thing where he likes to massage himself, or
no.
he likes
to roll on the ball.
He likes to roll on the tennis ball.
What are you doing, Bingy? What are you doing?
I'm zooming out.
Come, you want to play fetch? That's a good boy.
Oh, here he comes.
You got the real ball thrower.
We said the, oh, yeah, there we go. Okay, all right, here we go. Yeah, I heard you. Okay, let's go get him. Just a little underhand.
You know, the driveway
is hard.
Getting harder.
Oh, it's hard.
Which I'm loving.
Yeah.
So maybe the parts where we've kind of dug in when it was wet, we can like...
Yeah, I know. I tried to rake them today, actually.
Oh, did you? Good.
Yeah.
Because if we hadn't driven on it, I bet this would have been awesome. Maybe.
Oh, it is. It's awesome already.
Well, I mean, all of it. We wouldn't have any marks.
It's super hard. Like, it's surprising. I'm going to throw the ball. Oh, it's hard to keep the...
I'm loving it.
Yeah, my shoulder, I have some shoulder issues, so I can't really throw very well, but...
Oh, you're throwing better than me.
Yeah.
I realize it's not a big...
Not a huge... No one's coming up after us for...
all the roses.
Oh, nice.
So there's going to be a bunch of pruning that has to happen on all these...
There's always work that has to happen.
Usually...
As we start to move closer to the program, it's time to get into preparation. So I went and picked up 3 bottles of butane, and it is great to be doing that instead of more renovation. I'm glad to be done the renovation. Bit of a sound issue, it looks like, eh? We had some flooding. We had some flooding after the big rain the other night, and you can see the result of it here. Oh, it was an exciting day. We went to our friend Guillaume and bought some apple juice, 10 cases for les étudiants, for the students. So, and this stuff is the best ever. And it's, I think, a little more than two and a little bit, maybe a bottle, €2, €2. So fantastic. And then I had to pick some of these up too. We got 2 cases of this. This is kind of like Martinelli's. It's like the sparkling apple. Again, grown right behind the Chateau, and it tastes like $1,000,000. I'm not like, again, I'm not we don't have an endorsement with him. It's just fantastic, and he's a great guy too. So I'd love to see him get lots of business. It sounds like it's going well. He said business is doing well. Lots of apples this year. I'm gonna crack one open right away. This room has not been this clean since we've taken possession of the Chateau. The eventual baking kitchen is going to be our temporary ping pong and also wood-fired pizza kitchen. Kind of a hangout space. We'll try to get a sound system down here and let kids play ping pong, eat some pizza eventually. And so that means for me, we're gonna continue cleaning. I think Leslie and Dave already started with a lot of sweeping and moving stuff out. I cleared the table. Now it's time to vacuum again, sweep again, vacuum again, mop again, and then this thing will be halfway clean.
And now the sun, as if no thunderstorms have even existed, has come out acting like nothing's happening at all. However, I was watering this guy, and look, the lemon is soft now, but it hasn't fallen off. So we're gonna have to figure out how to take that off properly. And guess what else I saw? Look. I think it's a new one. That's gonna be great. And we're getting a few new blossoms in there. Can you see it? It's been a very fun adventure having this lemon tree so far, and I think he likes the spot, so he's a keeper. Oh, Mr. Bingley wants in. Hey, Bing. Oh, we can't see him. It's all good. There you are. Put his coat on. That poured so much outside. Did you do what you had to do? Do it now before another storm comes. It's looking awfully dark over there. I'm betting another one is coming. That's my bet. We have lemony goodness.
Lemons we grew ourselves to go in the water with our pizza. So here we are. It's a couple days till we go to Paris to get the students, and we've really needed an armoire for quite a while in our room. And as we were trying to store all that stuff in the container, there just wasn't enough room. So we made an emergency run to Beaufort-en-Vallée. Beaufort-en-Brocante is that what it's called?
Brocante de la Vallée.
And another great armoire. He got it to us for a really good price. And so we got in the back of the car. This is the roads, by the way. See how we're taking the back roads home.
They're not all like this, but this is one of the kinds, the single lane type.
Yeah.
Some of them are obviously the kind where they both go both ways, but for whatever reason, the GPS has taken us onto one of the single lanes.
Yeah, it's great until you try to pass somebody, like coming the opposite direction.
That's for sure.
You both have to get off the road. Well, there it is. Another week done at the Chateau. A couple days till the students arrive. We're shopping. We picked up about $500 worth of groceries. These are two of our 3 carts we picked up. My job, by the way, in that first cart was just toilet paper, drinks, and cereal. That's $150. You can imagine that. Also, a picture of a piano. We will have a grand piano someday in this Chateau, because both of us play, and obviously we do worship and Christian services here at the Chateau. We also noticed there's a French piano called a gavotte. Forgive me if I'm pronouncing that wrong. And notice, take a look, the intricate G. I just think we've got to pick one of these up. They're only $1,000 or $2, so not very expensive. We just got to find the right one that's close. So that look forward to that. And also, this is one picture. This is as we were opening up all our containers. I grew up with the first 20 years of my life living at home, and this hung in our bathroom. My mom hung this where both of us boys could see it every day as we woke up, and it's just a beautiful thing, and I'm thrilled to have it in our Chateau where our students can hopefully take heart and listen to it. Guys, thanks for coming, and we'll see you next week. It's going to be the walkthrough video. Hopefully it'll be a great one, and you'll get to enjoy some beautiful shots of the completed Chateau for 2024. Thanks for coming.